Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Glad you're back too. It's Naturally Nat. If I haven't told you before, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to do kind of a different little video today, and that we're going back to a recipe that I had made earlier. I don't have a video on it, but the one that, according to my taste testers, said I could heighten the volume on a particular ingredient, and the ingredient is cinnamon. So what we have over here was this other version of cinnamon zucchini bread that was pretty good. Daniel, you liked it, right?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so we both, Robbie and Daniel, both thought if I turned up the cinnamon on it, it'd be good. So we're making it over again, but we're doubling the amount of cinnamon. So what we got first of all is the dry ingredients today, and I'm using a glass bowl for a change instead of an old plastic bowl like I did last time. But I've got in here the double amount of cinnamon, which the original recipe called for 1.5 teaspoons, and I've got a little over 2 teaspoons in here. Then I have 1.5 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and what else did I have in here? Do I have it? Oh, 1 1/8 cups of sugar, not a whole ton, just some enough. And what else? I think that is all I have in the dry ingredients. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and whisk these together pretty good, especially with that cinnamon. Not that having streaks of cinnamon would be a bad thing, but we don't want clumps. And actually, originally this recipe would have you sift the dry ingredients. I don't think that's really necessary as long as you've been storing everything okay. As you can tell here, there's nothing cakey or lumpy here, so I think that's good. Then what I have in the bigger bowl, you want to put the first part, your dry ingredients, in the smaller bowl. You want to have your wet and your sugars in here. What I have in here is I have 2 eggs. I have, excuse me, there's not sugar in my dry ingredients. There's sugar in my wet ingredients. My bad. We have the eggs, we have the 1/2 cup of oil, and we have the sugar that I mistakenly said was in the dry ingredients, but it actually goes here in the wet ingredients. So what I'm going to do, I like to break up the eggs a little bit, get that sugar dissolved. Oh, I was meaning to tell you guys, if I haven't remembered to tell you this, I have a Facebook page up to match and correlate with this channel, and it's Naturally Nat on Facebook. So check that out, because I have some pictures that I uploaded the other day, and I'll be pretty constant about putting stuff on there as well. Maybe even a couple video shorts, who knows. So I'm going to give this a good mix till that yolk is just right. Again, my vegetable oil, my sugar, we got our vanilla in here. We got this, we're going to fold, not really fold this in, but we're going to be gentle with it. Otherwise you get a cloud of flour everywhere, right? I'm going to mix that up in here. I don't think I use electric mixers for these types of breads and goods, because it's real easy to just kind of space out for a second and then over mix your dough. And when you do that, I think it comes out a little tough, a little dry. I start with one of these and then work my way over to a wooden spoon. Doesn't want to get out there. And then when I give this a couple more mixes, I'm going to add the star of the show, which is 1 cup of grated zucchini, right, that we got right here. Just grated that this morning. We also need, the only thing that I don't like about this recipe is we need to butter our pan, and this is your standard bread pan. I don't know what the dimensions of this are, but you want to butter it really thoroughly and then flour it. And that's one of my not favorite tasks at all, because you can over flour the pan, but I think I did a pretty good job there. I think my mom would approve. She's the one that would always say, "You got too much flour in the pan." Now we're going to go ahead and put in our fresh grated zucchini. And this was actually 1 cup, for me anyway, yielded 1 kind of smaller zucchini. And maybe this is just me, but I think the smaller zucchinis taste better. When they start getting them really big out of the garden, or at the grocery store, wherever you're getting them. They get real seedy, and I think they get kind of a weird woody texture that doesn't yield well. So this is a nice young little zucchini guy. Something else I'm going to tell you about today that's really good that a lot of people don't do, and they should, is this is just a baking sugar, a sparkling sugar. I think you can also call it a sanding sugar. It's different than a granulated sugar. When you put it on the top, so certain things like these quick breads, these sweet breads, it makes it shiny, it gives it a crisp crunch. They're great on muffins, and you can get any brand. I just covered up the brand with a piece of paper here. But we're going to top it with that, and then sometimes when I remember, instant oats, right? You know, like the kind that your grandma made for you a kid when you were little, when it was cold out. You put that on the topping. That gives it a really fun, like shaggy, punchy crust. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour her in there. I got the oven already set for 325. When my friend Rob was eating this the other day, he said, "Is it supposed to have green things in it?" And I said, well, yeah, because it's a form of zucchini bread. Over on Facebook, I have some other pictures of other zucchini breads I make. This is not the one and only one. In the future, I'm going to show you how to make a really good, it's a lot more work than this, but it's really good. Daniel, you had it, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's kind of a fussy one. It's kind of a nice one to make for a party or a little summer.
That the one with the lemon?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really good. But it's quite a few more steps involving zesting. And, you know, not everybody has lemons in their refrigerator. I try to, but then you forget about it, and the next thing you go to get the yellow lemon and it's green, right? And it's not because it's a lime, it's because you let it go. You don't want to do that. So, give it a little jig, jig, jig like that. Now, here's where you take it up a notch, I think. You take a little bit of this, and this doesn't do anything other than add a little crunch and a little fun and a little pretty. And whenever you can do that, I think that makes a difference. Put that sand. This heavy kind of sugar, a turbinado sugar would also work. It'll make its own little crust. Otherwise, if you did this with granulated sugar, it would dissolve into the batter. And the batter would just get too sweet and it wouldn't get that crunchy, crispy stuff that you want. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit it into the stove. Again, it depends on how long you bake it. I've been baking it about 50 minutes. Again, I'm at a higher elevation, but you can go as low as 40. All you got to do is stick a toothpick in there and check it. But I tend to go longer because of my elevation, and I like it to be properly done. So we're going to pop them in the oven. In the middle of the oven will do. There you go. I will see you back in 45 to 50 minutes. Welcome back. I pulled this out of the oven about 20-30 minutes ago, giving it a nice rest here. You want to let it cool down. If you try flipping this over to get this out when it's too hot, it'll stick to the bottom. I've had that happen before. If you wait till it's completely cool and not warm whatsoever, then you run the risk of it not wanting to come out because it's kind of gotten a little settled in. So here's a few things I do. I take one of these, okay, inverted spatulas. I think it's its name. Go around it really carefully. And remember, we have buttered and floured this pan, so it shouldn't stick anyway. So that's the first thing I do. Then, oh, did you see that? Woo! Perfect.
All in one piece.
All in one piece. Then, see, there's that some of that dusting sugar topping. That's okay. That's why we put a lot on, because we knew that some was going to fall off. Then we'll do this. And there she is. Got a little hole there because I wasn't careful when I was doing my toothpick tasting. I don't actually have an official taster's, a bread maker's taster. I just use a toothpick, and sometimes that'll make a little hole like that, but otherwise I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to cut 2 slices off, and we'll be right back with a tasting to see if the extra cinnamon was worth it of repeating this recipe. Welcome back. So here I have the one we just made, the newer one. It's a half of a piece that has the double amount of cinnamon that Rob and Daniel thought maybe was a good idea. And then here's the one without cinnamon. So we're gonna have Daniel take a bite of each. There's the old one. Take a bite of the new with the double cinnamon.
Still very good. Yeah, I think that the cinnamon would be definitely
The double cinnamon?
definitely double cinnamon or is the best one.
Awesome! Awesome. Do we want to get Rob on it? Rob, do you want to try the double cinnamon batch? You're on film, but Rob. You're on film. Do you want to try a bite of the double cinnamon batch?
Sure.
This is the double cinnamon. That's the original.
Thank you.
Double cinnamon. There's the original that has half the cinnamon.
Double cinnamon is excellent.
Okay, so we have it definitely double cinnamon.
There we have it. So thanks for tuning in and tune into our next video. Till then, have a great day.